Why Not? A queer podcast.
Thank you to our sponsor, Pineapple Healthcare, an award-winning primary care clinic right here in Orlando.
Pineapple Healthcare offers mental health counseling, HIV, STI testing and treatment, and specializes in care for the LGBTQ plus community.
Open Monday through Saturday. Call today at 407-553-6336 and schedule your appointment.
Pineapple Healthcare. Better together.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rick Todd.
And I'm Jeremy Williams, and you're listening to Wine.
Why Not? A queer podcast.
Episode 128.
I don't know why I emphasized Todd, so I was like, I'm Rick Todd.
That you just want people to know that you are a Todd.
That is true. Hey, guess what, everybody? If you heard that, don't adjust your radios. That's Jeremy Williams. He's back.
I'm back, everybody.
As he said 3 minutes ago, guess who's back? Oh,
Back
I even messed
again.
it up. Look who's back, isn't it?
It's all right.
Guess
You
who's
don't look
coming
like
to
the
podcast?
You don't look like the biggest Eminem fan, so I'll forgive you.
I used to.
Did you? Were you a
I
big
did.
Eminem?
Yeah, I used to have bleach hair.
Oh, all right.
I
So
think
did
somebody
JT.
used to call me Slim Shady. I don't know.
Very nice.
So here we are with our new setup. This is how it is.
Yeah.
I get the big orange background. You get the big New York City background.
Yeah, the storage the shelf right now, but that'll change next week.
I feel like I'm winning here.
Are you? I sat in front of those little cushy things. They're not that exciting.
It's not a competition, Jeremy. All right. Well, we're going to get into all this good stuff about what your life's been like. But before we do, we are on episode 128.
We are.
So did you find any fascinating facts about the number 128?
I don't know how fascinating they are, but I found some factoids. 128.
I bet one of them's a BMP.
Oh, what?
Is it BMP?
No,
or is it BPM?
Beats per minute?
Yeah, there you go.
No, I didn't do that one. I did do
Low-hanging
128 bit video game systems. That's your PlayStation 2, your Nintendo GameCube, the Xbox came out in the early 2000s. That was kind of the turning point of that computerized, blocky, Minecraft-looking effect to the video games to getting more depth in your game. So shout out to 128 bit video game systems. 128 fluid ounces makes a gallon for you.
Hey, look at that. That's an interesting fact.
You American folks who don't follow the metric system.
If we did that thing where we had like a word of the podcast, I would have picked fluid. And when you said that, I would have went, fluid.
Fluid.
I will just mention this housekeeping thing here. Your microphone is off to the side, so that might be what's causing some of your voice being lower. But just a thing to think about.
Okay.
Anyway,
it doesn't
go right
move
ahead.
in front of me.
What else? What else you got?
Oh, I didn't know this. The standard barcode you see on almost every product is called a GS1 128.
Huh.
So next time you're scanning your barcodes at your self-checkout, think about that. Back to the video. I should have done this when I did the first video game. Number 128 is the name of a final boss in Final Fantasy VI. You and your party fight him when you reach the MagTech research facility. So for Final Fantasy fans out there,
classic MagTech
for you. I wanted to put something in here New Yorkie. The only thing I could find tied to New York with 128 is New York State Route 128. It's a 5.5 mile highway that runs north to south in Westchester County. So I clicked on Google Maps to kind of check it out, and it all looks very Blair Witch Project. It's very woodsy and very creepy. So if you like that kind of thing, check out State Route 128.
Is that up where like places have, instead of, there's like somethingville or something burg up there, like when you get north in New York, they call them kills. So it's like instead of like St. Petersburg, or there's Spartanville, those kind of places, the last part of it is kill, and it's another way of saying city.
Huh.
It's just really weird. But it sounds
Sure.
like whatever that route is, it should be in a kill land.
Yeah, it definitely should. It's very creepy looking. And then the last one is for Caitlin. The 128th Pokemon is Taurus, which is a wild bull Pokemon that does not evolve. I don't know a lot about Pokemon, but apparently there's Pokemon that do not evolve. And Taurus is a counterpart to Miltank, which is a milk cow Pokemon that also does not evolve. So I hope that meant something to Caitlin, because that last part meant nothing to me.
She said it did, for those of you that can't hear her.
So I figure bull and cow, they go together. The picture of the Miltank was this little cow-looking Pokemon on its belly with 6 giant fat nipples on it, which looked very odd. Anyway, those are my
fascinating
stats.
to do this in this setup that we have here, because while you're talking, I hear Caitlin's voice in my ear going, yeah, cute, yeah, and I'm like, this is so weird. Anyway, I will point this out. It's the last time I'm going to say anything. There is a definite distinct in the volume of your voice if you're talking into the microphone or to the side of it. I can hear you,
Gotcha.
and
Again,
I'm talking, so
can't
I
move
don't
the
care.
microphone in front of me.
We'll let people who are driving in their cars complain, but I can hear you just fine. So here's what I got. Are you ready for this? These are fascinating. No, this one, I don't know. For Lost fans, if you're a fan of Lost, I like the way that this is worded, because it's like, well, maybe it's a 128. In Lost, the mysterious number sequence includes 128 as one of the possible radio station frequencies used by the others. And if you watch Lost, you know what all of that means. 128 megabytes and 128 gigabytes. Many early USB flash drives and memory cards were 128. It was a milestone in digital storage revolution. Which, if you were using my headphones, you would know that Caitlin was a big fan of that fact.
All right.
All right. So this is interesting. There are several popular movies that clock in at exactly 128 minutes.
Okay.
I wrote 3 of them down. Guess. No, I'm just kidding. I won't make you guess. Kill Bill Volume 1.
Good movie.
The Bourne Identity.
Good movie.
Catch Me If You Can.
Oh, all 3 good movies.
All good movies. Yeah, I only picked the good ones. Speaking of good ones, Jeremy, I'm so excited about this, because for your first episode back in a couple of weeks, you're definitely going to get these. This is the 128th greatest movie of all times. I don't know what information to give you, because you're going to get it. I know we're going to see. I'll give you one clue at a time. We'll see when you get it. It's from 1997.
A movie from and this is 128th greatest movie of all time, 97.
Yeah.
Saving Private Ryan.
No. And I was going to make a joke about it, but I didn't want to give it away.
Titanic.
I was going to make a joke and say it's not that, but it's got a couple of dicks in it. Okay, William H. Macy.
Fargo.
Oh my God, are you trying to say that Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are dicks?
No, I'm saying they have dicks.
Oh, okay.
You said it has a couple of dicks in it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they have penises.
Okay. Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle. No, you didn't say Matt Damon.
No, not Matt Damon.
No. Don Cheadle. What was your first clue? Sorry.
1997.
I got distracted by dicks. So you said 1997, and then you said something else.
William H. Macy.
Oh, William H. Macy.
Don Cheadle.
And Don Cheadle. I feel like I'm going to go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. 97. Okay, so 96 was Fargo. That's William H. Macy was in Fargo. So what was his next movie after that? I'm drawing a blank.
Julianne Moore.
Oh, Magnolia.
No.
No?
No.
Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
How did I forget about Boogie Nights?
I don't know. I thought you were going to get it right after I said it has some dicks in it.
It sure does. It sure does.
All right. And that's directed by P.T. Anderson. Would you have gotten it if I said P.T. Anderson?
No, because he directed Magnolia. So
Oh, okay.
Magnolia. All
right. You ready for the 128th greatest director of all time?
Yes.
And again, I don't know how many. I'm going to start with what I think are obscure, but you're going to know, right? You're just going to know.
Will I?
Well, I mean, because you know this kind of shit. I wouldn't know, but you
I'm
know,
also
like, who
off
directed
practice.
what.
I've been out for 2 weeks. I'm out of practice.
All right. So here are 3 movies that this person directed. I'll give you one at a time until you get it.
Okay.
Cold Mountain.
Oh, I know the movie. I do not know who directed it.
The English Patient.
Oh, Anthony Minghella.
Yep. What if I had said Talented Mr. Ripley? Would that have given it away too?
I mean, yeah, I knew he directed those 2. I did not know he directed Cold Mountain.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that I didn't know that. All right.
Well, that's exciting. Look at that. I like it when for your first time back, we had a couple of easy ones. What if I just picked random ones? No one would ever know. No one fact checks this, right?
You're the only one who looks at this list.
Yes, I don't even fact check it. Me and the guy who wrote the list, he listens every week. Like, yay, somebody reads my list.
He only listens to the first 3 minutes of the podcast. He's like, that's enough.
I want to know if he updates the list as movies come out.
Yeah, he should. If you're going to make that kind of commitment, I need you to stick to it.
Right? I mean, come on. Jurassic Park just came out. So listen, you've been away for a couple of weeks. I did. I know we're going to get to it when we talk about your weeks. We're going to get to it. This little setup that we have here makes it difficult to interrupt each other because there's definitely a lag, but that's okay. I'm still going to do it. So there's so you were away for a couple weeks. The first week that you were away, Ryan Watermark Out News' new editor-in-chief hosted, and then the following week, George Wallace did. Did you listen to those?
I did.
Are you lying?
No, I swear to God, I listened to both of them.
They were good, right? They did. They both did really well.
They did admirable. I mean, you could tell. I mean, they both did great. They both did great. You could tell both of them were kind of new to the, like, bullshitting with you kind of thing.
Right. Well, like, imagine, like, our first one. Our first ones were lame, weren't they?
Yeah, I'm sure they were terrible.
Yeah, we were stupid. So I thought they did, considering that they haven't done this, and that was fine. Yeah, I did see George Wallace.
Fine.
I saw George Wallace today, and he was like, yeah, I listened back at it. And he goes, I had this NPR voice going.
He did. Like, Ryan, it took a little bit for Ryan to get into the groove of it. But once he did, he was good. George Wallace the entire time was very NPR. Now, I will say, I did not critique, deep critique yours and George Wallace, because I know that, you both have, you probably put on your community leader voice and persona when you were doing it. However, the back and forth with you and Ryan, there are a few things that I just want to point out. Saved by the Bell. Saved by the Bell. The character's name is AC Slater, not AJ Slater, which you guys were saying through the entire podcast. And I was screaming. Because I was listening to it while I was driving my U-Haul, and I'm yelling into the radio, it's AC Slater, not AJ Slater.
Well, might I say right off the bat, I'm excited that you've, after 126 episodes, decided to finally do some research on this. And it happens to be the one that you weren't on. All right.
And the only other thing is, at some point during the podcast, you were talking about how I mispronounce words. And you're like, Jeremy says this word and he thinks it's right, but it's not. And then 2 seconds later, you used the word homage and you said homage. And I screamed on the radio, that's not how you say it, Rick. Those are my only 2 notes.
I probably did that on purpose.
I'm sure you did.
No, when you I think I said homage. Like you pay homage to something.
However you said it.
Yeah.
It wasn't right.
I didn't say homage. That doesn't sound like a word. I would say homage. In my defense,
Yeah.
I was born in Ohio,
Mm.
and sometimes
That may have been why that was such a hard listen. When you've got two people from Ohio, I mean, no, I'm just kidding. You all did great. It was a good listen.
I thought it was fun. So tell us, what has your life been like? What have you been up to?
Since I got here, life has been great. Getting here sucked. So, I took a little bit of time and went and spent time with my mom. That was not the part that sucked. I loved spending time with my mom. But picking up the U-Haul truck. So I got a U-Haul truck. We decided to pack our stuff and drive it up ourselves. They would not let Chris take that week off. So I had to drive the truck up myself. So picked up the truck in Jacksonville because the truck you all wanted to charge me almost $2,000 for the truck if I picked it up in Orlando. But if I got it in Jacksonville, the truck only cost me $800. So I was like, screw it. I'm going to pick it up in Jacksonville and I'll drive it down to Orlando and then pack the stuff and drive it up.
Because when you do one way across state, they don't charge you per mile.
Yeah, well, they give you a set amount of miles. So I had
okay.
1,400 miles, but I was going to go nowhere near 1,400 miles. So I come down, I pick up my stuff, I bring the U-Haul truck back up to Georgia. I stay at my mom's overnight. Now, while I was in Georgia, I got a call from U-Haul, and they have those. They're like pods, but they're much smaller than pods. They're like little, like 6x4 little storage lockers. So they called me, and apparently how they get them to their destinations is they hitch them to the back of people already taking U-Haul trucks to places and offer you money off your truck rental to tow a trailer for them. So they were going to give me $600 to take a trailer from Atlanta to Long Island. And I said, hell yeah, I'll do that. The truck ends up being like $200. So I go pick up the truck. I'm heading down to Orlando to get my stuff. And the truck is acting up. It's a little shaky. It has over 100,000 miles. The AC keeps cutting off. So I'm like, okay, you knew that this truck wasn't coming back to your location. So you probably gave me your shittiest truck to get it off your hands. I get it. So I get down to Orlando, get back up to Georgia. I start driving. Before I get to the section where I would take the interstate to cut up to Atlanta, the car starts to violently shake. The AC cuts off. So I have to pull off at a truck stop and call them. And they had to send a repair person out there. Took them 3.5 hours. I'm in this tiny little cowpoke town at a truck stop for 3.5 hours waiting for a repair guy to come. He comes. He takes about an hour to fix the truck. I end up missing my trailer pickup, and I'm all pissed off. So I call, and I'm yelling at U-Haul. And then like 20 minutes into yelling at them, I'm like, listen, I don't mean to yell at you. I have a deadline, and I was supposed to pick up a trailer, and it's like 100 degrees out here, and my AC doesn't work. And she's like, no, I understand. So she goes, we'll see what we can do to reimburse you part of the truck rental.
So it wasn't a like a hookup truck stop.
No. It was
that was a nice way to pass the time.
No, not one of those.
You could have made the other $200.
It was still in Georgia, so I'm sure I didn't want to do any hookups at a Georgia truck stop.
You don't want to be at Georgia Beach.
Well, so I get up and I stop around DC and get a hotel, and then I get in the truck the next day, and it's acting up a little bit. It's starting to do a little shaking, but not as shaking as bad as it was, and the AC is completely cut off. So when I first got the truck, the AC would cut off when I went above 40 miles an hour. And so I would just have to be under 40 miles an hour and the AC would work fine. Once I got into it after I was in DC, the AC just didn't work at all. So I'm driving along and I'm just cursing under my breath, talking about how much I fucking hate U-Haul. And the check engine light comes on. And I was like, mother, I'm in Philadelphia at this point on a bridge, and the check engine light comes on. And almost as if they were monitoring the truck. Like 2 minutes after the light came on, the guy called me, the guy who rented me the truck. And he's like, hey, corporate U-Haul called me. And they were like, this guy's pissed off. The truck broke. I said this in anger, but I mean, I didn't really mean it. I don't think, maybe I did. I don't know. But he goes, they're claiming that you think I gave you a broken truck to get it off my lot. And I'm like, I was like, I'm going to be honest with you, sir. I absolutely did say that. Do I believe you did that? No, probably not. I'm sure you're an honest businessman, but in the heat of the moment, yes, I was pissed.
Gave you that truck,
and
to
I
get it
told
off
you
of
that.
his lot.
So he said, he swears, he goes, we would never do that. So he went through this whole story about why the check engine light came on. And I don't know if it's true or not. I made it to New York in the truck, so I don't care if it's true or not. But apparently he says that the trucks in Jacksonville at his lot, people break onto the lot and steal the catalytic converters off of them. So they had to put something else on the truck that was not this particular Cadillac converter, but it triggers the check engine light to come on. So he goes, even though the light comes on, the truck's perfectly fine. And I was like, whatever,
say perfectly.
So he says, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the money that you were going to get for your trail because you missed your trailer pickup. I'm going to give you that money off of your truck. So he took the money off. So that was very nice. And I get to my apartment, and the movers were already here. And I was like, we're on a strict time table. So I'm like, I drove the truck through the Lincoln Tunnel, which was an interesting experience because I got into town on Friday afternoon and the traffic was nuts. So that was driving a giant U-Haul through Lincoln Tunnel is an endeavor. So we get here and I pull the truck up and I'm looking for a spot and he's like, just pull it in the bike lane. And I was like, what? And he goes, it's fine. So I pull it up in the bike lane. People here just park wherever the fuck they want. They don't care. So I pulled the U-Haul halfway on the sidewalk, halfway in the bike lane, and they just start unloading the truck, not giving a shit that bikes are going around. And they're like yelling at the truckers yelling at, or the movers yelling at them. And it's like, welcome to New York. So I get up to the apartment. It's I don't know if I mentioned this. It's a fourth story walk up. So I have no elevator. And I get up in the apartment and it's built in 1901. So I have no AC in the building.
Is somebody ringing your doorbell?
Yes.
Do you need to go get it?
I don't.
Put him on the
sure.
podcast.
Sure. Hold on 1 second.
All right. Well, we're taking a bit of a break while Jeremy goes to check his front door. I hope it's not somebody, something nefarious. No. He's back.
That was weird. That was Amazon, who we've had a lot of stuff delivered for the past week, stuff we need for the apartment. Mm-hmm. They have never brought it upstairs. This is the one time they decided to bring it upstairs.
That's hilarious.
So the building's built in 1901. So I get up into the apartment and the floors are not level. Nothing is level in this building. And I talked to Chris, I talked to the movers, I talked to the super. Apparently, as pre-war buildings settle, the foundation shifts. And they said no pre-war building is level. Everything is just kind of like a wavy floor. And that's how my apartment is.
I used to have an apartment in Jersey City, and we had a dog that would pee on the hallway all the time. And it would pee in the hallway, and it would run down the whole hallway to the front door.
Nobody told me that this happens to these buildings. So, I literally.
How's the apartment? Oh, sorry.
The apartment's nice. Given that it doesn't have AC, no elevator, and it's tilted, I feel like I'm Lemony Snicket in A Series of Unfortunate Events house. But other than that, it's nice.
Well, Well, that's good. Everything you've talked about so far about the apartment is what
Yeah.
every apartment I've been in was like.
That's
There's
what I've
no
been
air
told.
conditioning on any of
Yeah.
them, and they're all, there's something quirky about all of it.
Yeah.
But it looks nice from what I can tell. It looks like,
Yeah,
you've got like nice drywall. Like that's not from
yes.
1901.
No, the walls are good. The ceiling's good. While the appliances in the kitchen are small, they are new and they are nice. It's the tiniest little stove and oven I've ever seen, but Chris doesn't cook. I'm the only one who cooks, so I don't need a giant oven and stove just for me. Now, when we were moving the stuff in, everything got up except for the big recliner couch that we have. It would not fit through the hallway. The hallways are very narrow and small. So
they didn't pivot.
They did not. They said, "Do you want us to attempt to pivot?" And I said, "No, it's okay. We'll just get a new couch." And they said, "What do you want me to do with the couch?" And I said, "I don't know, just leave it on the curb." I was like, "Somebody will come and get it." And yeah, we just left it on the curb. And then within like an hour, somebody picked up the couch and took it. So I hope they're enjoying it. It's a nice couch.
Was it the city? Did they leave a bill?
No. It was.
Right
it was Friday afternoon, so I don't imagine the city was doing anything Friday afternoon. But they just came by and picked it up.
Of all the things that I could pick up off the side of a road and utilize, one would not be a couch in New York City. Nope.
Well, somebody needed it, and I hope they're loving it.
They must have known it was from Orlando, and that it had only been out for an hour.
They must have seen us put it out, and they're like, "Those two homos are not bringing that couch into their apartment. Let's go get it."
Have you ever watched that flea market show where they go to flea markets and they buy shit and they renovate it and sell it for more money? But I forget what it's called. I love that show. Anyway, would it be funny if you saw your couch on there? Like somebody bought it. Somebody takes all this shit and sells it at a flea market.
I mean, if they got money for it, more power to them. I'm not sure how much they would, how much renovating they could do on a recliner couch.
Did you yell out your window? Did you yell, "Take that, Salvation Army"?
I did.
Somebody wants it.
So, oh no, that we did. This wasn't a couch we offered the I would never give the Salvation Army this couch. So then we had to take the U-Haul back, and the only place to bring it was the upper Midwest, almost to Harlem. So it's about 5:00 at this point, and Chris is like, "We have to drive the truck back in New York City in rush hour traffic." So I was like, "All right, well, let's give this a try." It was the most exhilarating thing that I've ever done. It was, I might get a car and drive out here. I love the way people drive in New York. No offense to people in Florida, but everybody in Florida is slow and doesn't know what they're doing. Here, people have a place to go. They have a destination, and they're like, "Damn you, I will get to that destination." And they're just moving in and out of traffic. They're blowing their horns. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a different life up there when it comes to driving, because it's not like people are saying, "Get the fuck out of my way." They're honking to let you know, like, either like, "Hey, I'm to your right," or "I'm to your left," or "The light just turned green. Let's get this moving." Like it's rarely angry. I find, and also like it's sort of like the lines on the road don't mean anything. It's people go. But the thing is everybody drives that way, so everybody knows, like, it's never unsafe. People know what they're doing. I think that's the difference here. Like, you drive very much like a New Yorker, but when you do that here, it looks
they don't like
bad
it.
because
they don't care for it at all.
That's not how everyone's not on that page. Excuse me. So anyway, but it's fun. Yeah, I mean when I first moved to New York, when I moved there in '98, I just landed there and drove through Times Square and was like, "Oh, I'm in Times Square." It was really weird and an interesting feeling, but I was not driving a U-Haul. I was driving a tiny Mitsubishi Eclipse.
Yeah. Now I was in a big U-Haul, empty U-Haul, swerving in and out of the lanes. Chris was impressed with my driving, and he's never been impressed with my driving. Oh,
truck driver plaid wearing.
It's got pink and purple, and I don't know how many truck drivers will wear this, but
so you've managed to make it more lesbian by describing the color.
This is I stole this off of a lesbian. So moving in, we got all settled in, been getting the boxes unpacked. The first week, I did a lot of touristy things because I've only been here one other time. So there's a lot of things I wanted to see. I did a little pop culture walking tour. I went and saw the apartment building from Friends. I went and saw the Ghostbusters firehouse, the building from Men in Black. Visited the World Trade Center, which was nice. Went to the New York Public Library and saw the original Winnie the Pooh dolls. So that was nice. What else did I do? Oh, I spent
That's some
4th of
old
July
Pooh.
in Central Park, which was fantastic. It was such a gorgeous day here on 4th of July. It was like in the low 80s, and it was not humid at all. And it was just hot enough that the guys were running through Central Park with their shirts off, and there were some playing like a football game, and I sat and drank my iced coffee and watched them play football. It was a blast. So many men with their
Central
shirts
Park
off.
in the summer is a lot of fun because
Yeah.
like, there's just people everywhere doing all kinds of stuff and sitting there and just watching everybody's school.
And I will say, again, no disrespect to Florida, but the men I have found on Grindr and Growler are they're a different kind of person. So when I was on the apps, and back in the day when you were on the apps, I don't know if you had the same experience. It's all about the hookup. It's about, oh, let's get together and have sex. They like want to get together and hang out here, which is just kind of different from what I'm used to.
That's just code for sex. They're not better.
No, because I went and saw. I have to pull it up here. I met a guy on Growler who invited me. He's a performer who invited me to a workshop reading for Hearts Island, which is a new musical they're workshopping here at the MCC Theater, which is right up the road from me. And so he was like, "It's free. Just come. You know, we're just going to be workshopping it in front of a small audience." So I went there.
So they don't use Grindr for hookups. They use it for marketing. Okay.
Hey, I got free tickets to something, so I'm fine with them using it for marketing. But I get there, and it's a musical about Hearts Island and what it is, and how they used prisoners from Rikers Island to to dig up the graves and bury the bodies. And it had a couple of people. You saw A Strange Loop when you were here.
Yes.
That trip. So the guy who played Thought 5, his name's Jason Vesey. He was in the reading. There was a couple of actresses, Shadea Farouz and Aline Mayagodi, who are currently on Real Women Have Curves, the musical on Broadway. Tyrone Robinson, who's in Pirates of the Penzance musical. Jonathan Christopher, who was in Sweeney Todd. And they did this reading. It was so much. It was just such a great musical. I was very surprised by it. I was like, going to do a musical on Hearts Island, but it was really, really well done. So I got to see that workshop and then chatted with some of them afterwards, and it was a blast. And then I have a date with a musician who's in the orchestra for Wicked on Friday.
Oh, that's exciting.
So I'm going to get me some Wicked tickets. I hope he's not listening, because I'm not dating you just for your Wicked tickets or going on a date with you. I'm going on a date because I want to hang out with you. But I also wouldn't mind some Wicked
him
tickets.
That I said, "Ah!"
That's how I introduced myself.
I did see I mean, my week is obviously not that cool, you know, but I did see the trailer for Wicked 2, and I did say, when I saw it, I said, I should probably go back and watch the first one again.
Yeah.
I'll just turn the volume off towards the end.
Good. And they're going to have additional songs and extended scenes. I think they're folding the whole Wizard of Oz story into it too, so it should be interesting.
Yeah, I know, because you definitely don't see Dorothy in the musical, but you definitely see her in this trailer. So and some CGI lion. He didn't look cowardly. So you talked about a lot of shit that you did since you've been there, but you did not mention Mary O's Irish soda bread scone. And
no, because I haven't been there yet.
Wow. And you've been there a week?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I'll get to the scones.
Window, Rick's suggestion. There you go.
It's on my list. I've only been here a week, but I will get there. I will get there. But I will say the bodega down on the corner, down on the under our building, they were not wrong. It is by far the best breakfast burrito I've ever had. The breakfast burrito is like a Chipotle burrito, and it is packed full of everything you could possibly want for breakfast. And we have popped in there so often that they already know us. And he already knows my order when I walk in. And I was like, it's a $12 breakfast burrito, which is, kind of pricey, but it's huge. You get quite a bit for your money.
Is it pricey? I mean, that's cheaper than a
I
healthy
mean-
turkey from what I get for breakfast on the weekend.
Oh, is it?
They get a
Oh,
healthy
I don't-
turkey and a side of bacon. That shit's like $30.
Oh, well then it's definitely cheaper than that. And then, just getting to know the neighborhood. We've been out to a couple of restaurants. I found a lovely grocery store where I bought some groceries. And they charge you 25 cents a bag, and I forgot my bag, so I'll just have to remember to bring my bags when I go grocery shopping. I got this cool little cart that has like this little 3-wheel spoke on the side, so it rolls upstairs. So I can do like major grocery shopping, so that's nice. And the last thing I will mention, because I don't know what these old pre-war buildings are made of, but I want to hang my TV on the wall, and I found flyers for the Homo Handyman, hung out all over the streets here. So I called the Homo Handyman, and he will be here on Wednesday to hang my TV and whatever else he does.
When he gets there, I need you to look at him and smile and say, "Hi, Homo Handsy Man," and then be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, did I mispronounce that?" See if you can get a little video out of it.
I'll see what I can do.
I forgot to do this. We were supposed to do this when we were taking when we were doing the test. Can you take a screenshot? We're gonna smile. We're gonna count to 3. We're gonna smile at the cameras, and she's gonna take a screenshot. We're gonna do a promo that we're recording and what we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Will you just tell us when you're ready, and then we'll just smile, and then we can take a photo. Well, that's pretty exciting stuff, Jeremy.
So how was your week?
It was way better than any of that.
I know.
I drove through Winter Park, which was the most exhilarating thing I've ever done. No. It was busy, This would be fun because this is sort of like, hey, remember when, Jeremy, you used to get to do this stuff? Because I live in Orlando now, like pretty much full time. I went to the Pride Chamber meeting, which I haven't been to in a very long time. So that's pretty cool. I gotta say, they do a lot of stuff. They just got a lot of stuff going on, and the members of the Pride Chamber. It's interesting because they're very excited about the Pride Chamber. They're very excited about their membership of the Pride Chamber, and that's really great because that's what makes a great organization. So that was super cool. That was Wednesday. Friday, 4th of July with the family. That was pretty exciting.
Very nice.
We did our typical thing.
Do the fireworks?
If by fireworks you mean sparklers, then yes. That's about the extent of it. Look, we've got a Boston Terrier, and Boston Terriers are like skittish as it is. So on 4th of July, all that little Rebecca Ann Lehman did was sit on the couch and shake, and there was nothing we could do to calm her. And it was just really obnoxious. And, people setting off fireworks all night. I don't understand what the laws are, but I feel like if you see a theme park style firework go into the sky and explode over your house, that maybe those aren't legal. But
yeah, I don't think that they are.
Did you figure it out? All right, give us the count of 3, and then we'll smile and look at the camera. All right, sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Sorry to creep you out.
Yeah. How fun for anyone who gets to watch the video of it all. So just shoot that off to the editorial team and tell them that what we're talking about. Cool. Something we should probably tell our readers or listeners too is that we are we're switching. You're not going to be available on Mondays. We're going to be available starting on Wednesdays now. So we're recording this on Monday, but it'll go up on Wednesday. So you still get it every week, just on Wednesdays. Like some little hump day stuff for you there. So
they'll have to wait a couple of extra days for my return. That's okay.
Yeah. So 4th of July was cool. We did the typical Quiplash game. But I felt like Monica from Friends, because before it started, you've played Quiplash with my family, right? So we started to play, and I said, "Look, can we just have a rule? Like, I don't want to. I'm not going to police this, but can we just have this rule that you can't use the same answer more than twice?" Or like 3 at the most, just because, like somebody will say something and it's really funny, and then like the next 5 answers somebody says everywhere. It, and it's just like, come on, guys, let's get a little. So anyway, so we were able to limit the use of the word semen to just 3. Then
I thought we already talked about Grindr.
So Saturday I went to see Hair at the Renaissance Theater. And they're super talented. They do good shit. They do a great show there all the time.
Yeah.
But this particular show, have you ever seen Hair?
I saw the movie.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, the movie's on Tubi for free if anybody wants to watch.
I don't remember seeing the movie. I remember seeing parts of it. But is the show just disjointed as is?
Yes.
Or is there like a storyline? Like the first 45 minutes, there's just really no story. It's just,
it's like vignettes.
Hippies protesting.
Yeah.
And then, but towards the end of the first act, you start to see some sort of storyline where one of the hippies got drafted and is going to go off to war and come back, kind of a thing. Anyway, there's this thing. I thought about you while watching it, because there's this one guy, you'll have known him from many different shows. Tall, thin, twink.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, like he's at like a lot of the Friends shows, and he usually plays like a gay character in them. Anyway, he's in this, and there's one point where he was like dancing around and thrusting, and there was like this definite movement in those shorts going on, and I was like, "Oh, Jeremy would be really happy if he were here."
No video.
And well, I mean, geez, do I want to be that creeper?
Yes.
Can you mute? Is your thing muted? And so that was happening, and he was wearing like these really baggy pants. Then he went and changed, and then I think maybe it was his mic pack, because then he changed into shorts, and then it definitely looked like a mic pack. But you've seen the movie. And I don't know if this happens in the movie or not, but it definitely happened. That stage that they have for that Boots show that they do?
Yeah.
Well, they were all standing on it. And during these Act 1 finale, they all completely get naked.
Yeah. Yeah, it's full of nudity.
Yeah. Well, that was like, and so everybody was there. Now, this guy was
Wait a minute. Was it his mic pack?
He was on the other side, so we didn't get to see it.
Oh.
So what we did see, was not that. There was no mic pack in what we saw. No offense to anybody. It was cold.
Was it a mic box?
It was cold in that theater, by the way. I saw like from the other side there was one guy. He started getting naked. I was like, oh my god! And then I looked around and they were all naked. I was like, oh. And then I started looking around. I was like, oh, where's that one? Oh, he's over there. So that was fun. Then I did this thing on Sunday. I had no idea that this existed. So this friend of mine that I play softball with sent me a message and was like, hey, he wanted to do something. He invited me to do something, but he didn't want to tell me what it was. So we made plans. He was like, I'll give you the address like the morning that I want you to meet me there, and just go there and meet me, and it's fine. So he sends me the address, and I gave it to Jen, and I said, look up how long it's going to take me to get there, but if whatever this is pops up, don't tell me, because he wants me to be surprised. I want to be surprised. And so she looks it up, and she says, it's a house. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. I was like, well, save that address, because I don't know if like this guy's account got hacked and somebody is like luring me to some house somewhere. Like, we'll see when we get there. But it was totally legit. He gave me a clue. He said it has to do with music. And I know that he knows that I'm a huge fan of Air Supply. So it had something to do with music, and it was like 80s music themed or something. So we get to this house, and it's this guy's house. Turns out he's a former advertiser in Watermark. But his house is like the official Cyndi Lauper Museum. Are you aware of this? That this exists in Orlando?
I did not know that. No.
And I mean, apparently he has back and forth with her team all the time. They trade out things. Like, he finds things that she doesn't have, and then she finds out, or he'll say like, "Hey, look, I got this at this estate sale." And sometimes she'll be like, "Ooh, I want that," and then he'll say, "Okay, I'll give you that if you give me something from this tour or whatever." But I'm gonna tell you, like, this entire house, it's like a couple stories, and it's a bunch of rooms, and every single room, the staircase going up, everything completely covered in Cyndi Lauper memorabilia. It's crazy.
Wow.
Like it's kind of cool because it's set up like it looks like a museum. I was highly impressed. So you'll walk in and there'll be like this video playing of her at the Grammys, and with like this jewelry that's really cool. And then he has that jewelry from that. One of the cool stories I will tell about it, I just think it's cool, is that apparently there was something about, for some reason, she doesn't have her wedding photos from her first wedding or marriage. If there's multiples, I don't know. I don't know why I said first, because I think that it is. But anyway, that and some family Christmas photos and stuff. She didn't have those. And I guess there's some speculation that maybe she and the photographer had a falling out, and so she never paid for the photos, so she never got them. But then the photographer passed away, and this guy got it at an estate sale or something, and then called her up and was like, "Hey, I have your wedding photos. Like, do you want them? You send me a dress, I'll send you the wedding photos." Or no, it was something like, if you handwrite the lyrics to Time After Time, and send that to me, and I'll give you these sort of things. And so they have that kind of relationship and back and forth, and it's a lot of really cool stuff. It's just it's sensory overload. It's overwhelming. Yeah. Like, you got to sit in there and like really kind of like grasp where you are and what you're looking at. It's just a really cool experience. So I'm happy that I saw that. And then I went to see Jurassic Park or Jurassic World or whatever it's called.
Oh, yes.
You did that too, right?
I've seen that and Megan 2.0 since I have been here. And then I'm seeing Superman on Thursday.
I am going to try and see Superman on Thursday as well, but I will be seeing it in not New York City or Orlando, but the metropolis of Madison, Wisconsin. Brian and I fly out Wednesday to go to Madison for the Ann conference.
Oh, lovely.
So you didn't like Jurassic Park or Jurassic World?
I thought it was fine. First of all, I will say off the bat, you have two stories in this movie. You've got the hunters who are getting the blood samples from the dinosaurs, and then you have this family that gets mixed up with them. You could have removed that family and had a much better movie. You didn't need anything going on there. The older daughter is obnoxious.
Do you know where she's from? She's from Manifest.
I don't know what that is.
The show where the plane gets missing for like 9 years and then shows up, and the people on the plane haven't aged.
Oh no, I didn't watch that.
It's like a net. It was on some TV. I don't know what network it was on, but when it got canceled, like, people lost their minds, and Netflix picked it up, and it's like it was a huge Netflix hit.
Oh. No, she was obnoxious. First, from the very beginning, with her lazy boyfriend, and she's like, "Leave my boyfriend alone." Shut the hell up. Don't bring your stupid boyfriend on the trip if he's going to be a lazy bum. And then the whining and the crying. First of all, the guy didn't shove her out the door and try to kill her. Did he grab at her arm? No. Maybe if you weren't such a nasty woman all the time to him, maybe he would have tried to save you.
But I didn't realize we'd start quoting Trump so early in the podcast.
I'm just saying, she was nasty the whole movie, and no point in that. The whole storyline of the family was just very off-putting and stupid in the film. Other than that, the movie was still stupid. The whole mutated dinosaurs things, it's like, it was ridiculous. It's not as dumb as the last one, but it was ridiculous.
I figured that that's probably the mutated dinosaurs is probably the thing that you like the least.
That was so dumb.
I will say, of course, I disagree to this level. I do think that she had an attitude, that girl, for sure. She had an attitude the whole show. But yeah, the guy, she fell out the side, and the guy thought, oh, well, if she dies, then I don't have to worry about her calling
that.
Whatever.
And if that's what she had said, but she said he pushed her and tried to kill her. He didn't push her.
Yeah,
she's a liar.
He pushed
She's
her
a
away.
liar.
He pushed her away from the thing. It just so happened he pushed her when the boat was turning. But anyway,
wrong. It was horrible.
I liked the family way more than the other people, just because they were terrible people, except for Jonathan Bailey.
The movie is these people going to get the blood samples. Adding the family in there to try to add drama, no. And they do this. They've done this out, except for the very first one. Every movie, they try to add this, fish out of water drama with people. Just have the dinosaurs eat fucking people. We don't care about the family drama.
I feel like they made the movie and they said, when they watched it, they said, you know what? The audience is going to root for everyone to die. Like, let's throw a family in there with a little girl who has a cute little dinosaur pet.
I rooted for that whole family to die. I would have preferred that whole family to die and everyone else to live.
Not little Beatrice. What was that thing's name? Was it Beatrice? Dolores.
The little dinosaur.
Little Dolores. Well, I thought this about it. It was just as good as every other one. Although, because all the movies were playing on TV all weekend. And so we were watching them. And I will say this one didn't do this as much, and I appreciated that. But 90% of every Jurassic Park movie is dinosaur side-eye, dinosaur scream, dinosaur side-eye, dinosaur scream. Yeah. There was only one real big T-Rex scream in this thing. In fact, the sleeping T-Rex was adorable, and he rolled over into the water, and then that
only good one is the
girl
first
was waking him up and scared him by popping that raft open. No wonder he wanted to eat them.
Except for the first one, you can take all the rest away. I don't care for any of them.
Yeah. Oh, although I call this the Laura Dern effect. We get it. You're a scientist. It's so cool to see a real dinosaur, but gosh, this forced, dramatic, slow music and dinosaur hair. Oh. Yeah. Anyway, I still liked it. I watched it.
I figured you would.
Do you know what else I watched? Have you seen The Residents?
No.
The one that has crazy eyes from Orange.
Yeah, I know of the show. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, I've watched all but the last 2 episodes, and it's really boring until you get to the third to last episode. Now I'm I can't wait to watch it, but I can't watch it till next weekend. I also started watching this show. You watch something, you watch a clip of something, and then all of a sudden, some app is telling you, "Hey, you should watch this or you should watch this." I don't know what I watched. I'm sure I know what I watched. But it's this Australian sitcom called Single Out. It's single, out. It's terrible, but it's about this young guy, who he's not out yet. And it's about him coming out and hooking up with his brother's best friend. And it's just so tragically bad. And I can't stop watching it. I mean, we might have to cover it for this. You should check it out. It's got a lot of shirtless guys in it and that kind of thing. But it's sort of I can't even think of what a show that it's like. It's just people don't pick up their cues really fast. Sometimes you're is there even dialogue in this scene? Are they just making this up? But still,
it's like a narrative show or it's a reality show?
No, it's a narrative show. It's like a sitcom. Not it's not as funny as The Bear. But I would imagine it would be under a funny category like that. Did you happen to watch that link I sent you about that YouTube video? It's an hour and 9 minutes of 4 young guys talking about this other video that's an hour long.
No, I don't understand that concept though.
It's
People spending an hour dissecting another YouTube video.
well, it's like us taking 2 hours to describe a movie,
Like a movie, but a YouTube video?
Yeah, they just do it for YouTube videos. But it's interesting. I don't know why it made me interested. I couldn't stop watching it. Dylan hated it. But it's like it takes 7 guys and they interview them and they talk about well, the first of all, the point is to put them in penis size order. Right. So they
From
ask them a bunch of questions
smallest.
about how they think theirs compares or what they think, like who they think is going to be this size or that size or whatever. And then they put them all in an order and like they do it themselves. And then they do a measurement and they put them in length, in flaccid length order. And then they put them in erect length order and they put them in girth
order. Do they show them?
Apparently they do on some other video, but they didn't on this video. And then the 4 young guys that do this video, if you subscribe to their channel or like their paywall, then they do their own and measure their own. And one of the guys is gay. I think only one of them, maybe more. But it was fascinating to me. To watch it. I did fast forward through a bunch of it because I was the only one who was really interested. But, I was like, come on, Ma, aren't you interested? No, she wasn't there. Anyway, that was my week.
Fantastic. I love a good flaccid story.
I got to tell you, like, I want you to watch it because it's just interesting.
I mean,
there's one guy.
I'm going to look for the unedited version and definitely watch that.
Oh, no, you got to watch these guys do commentary on it. That's what makes it funny. Like, they're funny at times about it. But they're like, immediately, they're like, this one guy, he's got, and they say like cock a lot. And they're British. So, and I think the show's
British love the word cock.
Yeah. And that's what it sounds like what you would buy at Home Depot. Like you buy cock. And it's just funny, like their expressions and what they have to say about it. But there's one guy they said like he's got like a sleeper cock, or like like he's gonna have this massive schlong, and the outcome of it is just like when they show the actuals, when they tell the sizes and the person who has the smallest one in every category, like as it happens, his face just melts and they just keep talking about his face. But it's interesting. It's funny too, because then at the end of it, everybody's just like, what does it even matter? Why is it? There's one guy though that's like, I've had the same size schlong since I was 9 years old. And like, what an odd thing to say.
What a weird, don't say that. I don't even care if it's true. Don't say that.
I know, because then you end up talking about a 9-year-old's penis. It's never good. Weird.
No,
anyway, what a great way to segue into the next thing. So we watched the film.
We did. We watched a movie called I Don't Understand You.
Dude, I gotta be
honest. I don't understand some of this movie.
I found this because there's a YouTube video that popped up in my feed that said like, here are the best movies coming out like in this month. And so it was a lot of things that are new. And there's actually a lot of some interesting things. There's one show that's coming out that's about gay Olympic people, and it's a scripted show. So it's real steamy and it's about gay Olympic people. But it's from Spain. So it's probably in Spanish. I'd watch it with subtitles, but maybe that's something we'll catch up to. But anyway, it has Andrew Reynolds.
Yeah.
And I think I love him. So I was like, let's watch it. Let's give it a lookie.
Yeah. So it's a horror comedy is what they call it. It came out last year. It was at South by Southwest in 2024, but it was just released in the beginning of June. I didn't see it released in theaters, so I don't know if it was like a direct to like streaming or anything like that, or if it was just like a limited release. But I don't recall seeing this in theaters. June.
Or seeing your previews or anything. But it's just because we're in a podunk town. I mean, you probably see it now.
Yeah. So Anya Reynolds and Nick Kroll, they play Dom and Cole, who are a gay married couple who are looking to adopt a baby. While they're in the process of wanting to adopt a baby, they are also celebrating their 10-year wedding anniversary, and they celebrate by taking a trip to Italy.
This is a ridiculous movie.
It is.
It's so ridiculous, but it cracks me up though. Oh, so by the way, one of the people you meet in Italy, so they have dinner at this woman's house. We'll get into that, right, and what she does. But she has 2 kids. One of them passed away, but the other one, do you know who that actor is? Morgan Spector.
The face looked familiar, but I don't know what I saw him in.
He's in the Gilded Age. Have you ever seen that? He's like the really rich guy. He's the rich guy.
I don't
in the
watch
Gilded
that show.
Age. I mean, everybody's rich in the Gilded Age, right? Well, not everybody, not their servants, but they're he's like the new money guy in town, and nobody likes his wife because she's new money. But anyway, it was funny to see him in a totally different role.
Yeah, I don't watch that show, although everybody tells me it's fantastic, so I should probably start watching it.
I like it enough. I don't usually like period pieces, but for some reason I like that one.
Are there no men in it? Anyway, so they go to Italy.
You're gonna see the disgusted look on Caitlin's face. She's like, ugh.
They're not all winners with everyone. So they go to Italy, and they're celebrating their 10-year wedding anniversary.
Well, before they go, we'll just say real quick, it starts off. I think it starts off cute. They're making an adoption video, so this is a video that will play to people that or to women who are pregnant, and they watch these videos to decide who will adopt their baby. And it's funny because they get drunk while making the video, and then they're just begging, like, please give us your baby, please, which is kind of cute. So then it flash forwards 3 years after making the video, and you find out that that they had there was a fraud situation where somebody said, oh, you can adopt our baby, but the person was never pregnant. They faked all the documents. They just were stealing money, and that was it. And it was devastating to them. So it's their 10-year anniversary, and they go to Italy. But when they get there, they have a scheduled call with a potential mom.
Yeah, they have a potential mom. They haven't seen her or talked to her yet, but they have a potential mom who they're one of the couples that she's thinking about.
And she's played by Amanda
Seyfried.
You know, I read an article that she fought real hard to get the role of Glinda, and that it was a lifelong
she really
dream
wanted
of
to be
hers
in
play
Wicked.
that.
Yeah, nope, didn't get it.
Sorry.
Apparently, they never saw Mamma Mia, or they would have said yes.
Or Les Mis. She played.
Or she's in Les Mis. Yeah, she's
Cosette
also in Les Mis.
Mis. I think she would
save some musicals for other people, Amanda. So they get to Italy, and Dom's dad's best friend is this Italian guy, and his family takes them to dinner. And they give them knives because Dom is he's a cook. He's a chef. He's an aspiring chef and loves fancy cooking. And so his dad told his friend that he likes knives, meaning kitchen knives, but they got them matching hunting knives.
Hunting.
Yeah, like Swiss Army knives with their names carved on them, on the handle.
Or what they thought were their names, because they don't.
What they thought was their name, yeah. So one of them is Cole, but they carved Cool into his handle, which will come into play later in the movie. So for their anniversary, the dad's best friend sets up this fancy dinner with an exclusive chef that ends up being this old Italian woman out at a farmhouse in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, she used to run a restaurant. Right. She was this great cook. Everybody loved her restaurant. She had a son that died, and she lost the passion. So she stopped cooking. But because this guy said that they were fans of hers, it revitalized her love of cooking and made her want to do this for them.
Yeah. So before they go to the dinner, they get checked in at the hotel. The front desk clerk sees that it's two men. He doesn't put two and two together. They're gay. And he's like, oh, we screwed up because we set it up like it's a honeymoon couple coming in. And he goes up there and they have the bed all nice made with like the little, I don't know what those little towel man and a woman getting married or whatever the little towel design they had. But he like rips the blanket off and starts to separate the two beds, thinking that it's just, two work colleagues who are in town. And then he sees them,
He calls them colleagues. It's funny.
He calls them colleagues. And then Dom's rubbing Cole's back, and then the guy freaks out and he's like, I'm such an idiot. And then he storms out. The entire movie is the language barrier of miscommunication, where nobody in Italy has a problem with them being gay, but they think that because of their loud, boisterous Italianness, that they're angry or upset that they find out that they're homosexuals.
Yeah, so this guy is so mad of himself, and he mutters on his way out. He's like, "I'm such an idiot," because like he messed this whole thing up. But they took it to mean like he was bad mouthing them under his breath.
That he was a terrible homophobe.
Yeah.
So at this point, Candace, who's the character Amanda Seyfried plays, the pregnant woman, she calls. And there's this I really like this scene where she's basically telling them that she wants to give them her baby because she really thinks that they would be great dads, and they're getting emotional. She's getting emotional. It's a lovely, beautiful scene inside of a chaotic shithole of a movie of all this terrible shit that happens. It's a very sweet moment.
Yeah, and like up to this point, this is a very normal movie. It's like it seems like this all makes complete sense. And there was a part in that call that was super sweet when he said thank you to her because of some question she asked. She said, "You're reminding me why I want to have a baby with this man." And then that's when she says, I'm picking you guys. I want it to be you. And it's just, I got a teary-eyed. It was a really sweet, scene. Incredible moment.
I got a little choked up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they get this great news and they decide, you know what? Life is perfect. We're having a baby. We're going to drive out to this farmhouse in this rental car, which, by the way, this will all come into play later. The dad's friend rented the car for them, got everything set up at the restaurant, got the knives, everything. So his name is all over this shit. So they're driving out to the middle of nowhere to this lady's farmhouse, and they're getting nervous and they're starting to argue with each other because they're like, this can't be it. This can't, who the hell would have a restaurant all the way out here? Yeah.
They end up in the woods somewhere. Yeah.
So their car gets stuck in the mud. And after trying to first of all, this part I thought was stupid and hilarious. But when he gets out, Dom gets out of the car and Cole hits the gas and it shoots mud all over him. And then the next scene, he's perfectly cleaned off and he's like, the rain washed all the mud off of me. Thanks for throwing that line in there. Because even if it's raining, it's not good. He was like perfectly clear of mud.
Well, not perfectly, because then later it comes up again later.
It comes up later again. But for the scene, he's perfectly cleaned off.
I mean, he was drenched in mud. So, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like head to toe. So they get in touch with, I think it was Cole's mom that they got in touch with, and she's going to get in touch with AAA, which is triple A out there. And then a car drives up.
They keep calling it triple A. The car drives up, and he's like, "Are you with triple A?"
This car drives up, and it turns out he is not triple A. That he's the guy. Their car is stuck on his property. So he's like yelling and shouting at them to get in the car. And again, they take it as an aggressive person when it is just somebody who is just aggressively Italian. He's very loud. He talks with his hands. Maybe it's because I'm half Italian. Everything happening in this movie, I'm like, why are you two blowing this out of proportion? They're not being that aggressive. But to them, it's like everybody's attacking them. So he ends up dropping them off at what they think is his house. He's like, he's taking us to his house so we can use the phone. And then he drives away. So they go up and they knock on the door of this farmhouse they drop him off at. And it turns out it's the restaurant that they were going to go to. So a nice, sweet old Italian woman answers the door. Lovely. I love this woman so much. I hate what happens in this movie to her. So she's got them all set up, and she's like, she makes pizza. She gets them set up at the table, gets a bottle of wine. First, she starts pouring the wine, and it's white wine. And I was like, who drinks white wine with pizza? But then I looked it up. Apparently, you're supposed to drink white wine with pizza margherita. And that's what they were eating. And I was like, oh, I had no idea. I've been drinking red wine with my pizza for years.
Classic Jeremy.
Classic. I'm sorry. So she realizes that the bottle of wine that she got was not a good year. So she takes a sip of the wine. But as this is happening, they kiss. So the whole miscommunication comes in again because she starts yelling about how she grabbed the wrong wine. And they're like, oh, she's pissed at us because we kissed. She must be a homophobe.
Now, this was after like a 5-minute monologue from her in Italian to people.
She speaks no English, and they speak Italian. No Italian.
And there's she was not stop talking. And at the end of it, she at least said, I don't even know why I'm telling you all this. You don't understand what I'm saying. And then they kiss, and then she gets mad because she realizes she brought the wrong bottle of wine, and she starts yelling about that. And they, of course, think that she's yelling because they
storms off to get the right bottle of wine, and they're just standing there. Oh, that homophobic old Italian woman is pissed that we kissed. So she comes out with the new wine. Oh, go ahead.
Well, while she's downstairs, the power goes out because of the storm. Right?
Not yet. Power doesn't go out yet. Because she comes back with the new bottle of wine and the next pizza, which for those who watch this movie, this is gonna sound so smug of me, but I used to live in Italy for 2 years when I was in the military. So she comes out with a pizza with horse meat on it. And I think most people would be like, that is really disgusting. My first thought was, I have had horse meat pizza in Italy, and it's absolutely delicious. It is amazing. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's a legit thing that they do. But Cole is a vegetarian. We find that out earlier in the movie. But he's a vegetarian, and Dom is like, it's very rude not when you go to a restaurant like this not to eat their food, so just take a bite. So he took a bite of the horse meat pizza, and he ends up running to the bathroom to throw it up because he hasn't had meat in 15 years. So while he's in the bathroom, he passes by a door where he hears some weird noises, and he's like, goes to investigate it. And it is the old lady's husband who is in an iron lung. And for those who don't know what an iron lung is, I don't even know if they still use these. It is like a giant, it looks like a tanning bed that the person is permanently in because the machine is basically his breathes for him.
Yeah, and their head sticks out of it.
Yeah, the head sticks out of the top, but the whole body is in this iron lung.
There's like recently a show where somebody was in an iron lung, and I can't remember what it was, but I feel like it's something we covered. Anyway.
I don't remember. But it's terrifying looking. And the guy lets out this moan sound, and then the power cuts out because it's a stormy night. So they're stumbling around in the dark. Cole just saw this terrifying iron lung man, and he comes stumbling out, and Dom is stumbling around trying to find the old lady, and they knock the old lady down the stairs in the dark.
Accidentally,
yes, completely accidentally. Cole knocks her down the stairs, killing her. Or so we believe. So they decide, let's...
Caitlin just looked over at me. She goes, oh my God, for real? This is where the whole story goes fucking
Caitlin
crazy.
may want to step out of the room at this point because the movie goes off the rails at this point. They try to do CPR on this old lady who has blood coming out of her mouth, and they crack her ribs, and they're like, oh my God, she's dead. So they bring her upstairs.
Yeah, you're telling this like it's a drama. It's hilarious. He's giving her CPR to her. And he's like, "Oh my god, what was that?" It's like, you broke her bones.
So they
funny.
drag this poor old lady upstairs, and then they see a car pulling up into the driveway. So they roll her under the table because it's got a nice long tablecloth on it. So they roll the poor old dead old lady under the table. And this guy comes in. You don't know who he is. It turns out to be the old lady's son, Massimo. And he gets the keys. He's going to get their rental car for them out of the mud. So he takes the keys. Again, he's an aggressive Italian man. So Dom automatically thinks, oh shit, this guy means us trouble. So he leaves, and
But he speaks a little bit of
English.
A little bit of English.
So we forgot to mention before the old lady died, she realized that Dom was muddy. So she takes his shirt off and gives him a shirt to one of her sons, Giovanni, who she says is the same size. He was the same size as you.
Yeah, this is the one who died.
Yeah. So when Massimo comes in, he's wearing Giovanni's shirt. So Massimo comes back with the car, and he's like, I want you to have a drink with me. And he's calling for the whole time. This is so sad. Just calling for his mom, and her dead body's underneath the table that they're sitting at. It's just so sad.
And he does.
I know it's a comedy, and it's hilarious.
It's because he doesn't know it's there, and he's like yelling down the hallway at her, like not.
And then he's like, "I'm
"Where's
sorry,
Mom?"
she's deaf."
He's like, he just assumes she can't hear, and he's just yelling to say like, "Hey, we're gonna have wine. Come have wine with us." And then he's demanding that they can't leave. They must have a drink.
Yeah, you have to have a drink with me.
But he goes to get wine. And so they take off, like they run to leave.
Yeah, they leave to go outside, and Massimo's fiance, Francisco, is outside. Francisca. And
this cracked me up. This is like my kind of humor, right? Because she gets out there and she's like, "Oh, we know you were here to have dinner." And then she said, "You finish?" Meaning like, are you done? And the guy goes, "No, we're Americans." So stupid. I love it.
So while they're outside talking to Francesca, Massimo sees their phone because the power had gone out. Power came back on. Their phone started to charge up, and he started to see that there were a bunch of messages from Candace, who is the pregnant woman, saying, "I'm going into labor." So he sees this, and he's like, "Oh, they're going to be dads." So he comes upstairs. And Dom has gone back inside. Cole is outside with Francisca, just to set the scene. Francisca and Cole outside. Dom inside with Massimo. I don't understand why he picked up the knife. I guess he was going to use that to open the bottle.
He's got champagne in one hand, and he's got a knife in the other. He's going to pop the cork and celebrate because they're going to be dads.
Now, so he has an accent. Yeah. He has an accent. He's got a knife in one hand, bottle of champagne, and he keeps saying, "You're going to be dad." But it sounds like you're going to be dead. And he's wielding this knife.
You're going to be dead. You're going to be dead.
Yeah, you're going to be dead.
You're going to be dead. And he's got this knife in his hand yelling, "You're going to be dead."
So Cole finishes up with the wife outside. He walks in, sees Massimo waving the knife, saying, "You're going to be dead." So he takes out the knife that he just got as a wedding gift, the cool knife, and stabs him in the neck. So he turns around and he's like, "Hey," he's got a knife hanging out of his neck. He's like, "What are you doing here? What are you doing?"
He's like, "What are you doing? You're going to be dead. I'm celebrating with you. You're going to be dead." And then he pulls the knife out. And it just
blood squirting everywhere.
All over the place. All over him.
So Dom thinks he's going after Cole, so he grabs the knife and stabs him in the other side of his neck.
So then he falls to the ground, bleeding, dying. And then he looks over and he sees his mother under the table. And so they're both there dying.
These both are dead. Poor people who are now dead. And as he's bleeding out, Candace calls. So they have to wipe the blood off their face. And while this body is dying at their feet, they're on a video chat being like, oh my God, I can't believe your baby's coming. We're so excited. We're coming home now.
Yeah, we're going to come and see him. We're going to be such great parents. And this is going to be wonderful. Like, while they've got dead bodies at their feet.
So as they wrap up the call. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, as they're talking, Massimo starts like gurgling. Like he's like, oh, they were giving him CPR and he came back to life because they're like, we have to help him, and he came back to life. And then because that's, I think, when they realized that he was saying, you're going to be dads, and they're like, oh, we killed him for no reason, we have to bring him back. So they start bringing him back, and he comes back to life. But then they get on the call with Candace, and he's gurgling and making noises.
Spitting up blood.
So he puts his hand over his mouth and nose so that they can't hear it, but he ends up killing him because he can't breathe.
So as they finish up the call and they're standing over this dead man's body, his fiance walks into the house and sees her dead fiance and these two gay men standing over him, one holding a bloody knife. So she, of course, takes off, and Cole takes off chasing after her.
In the car.
Yeah, well, they go chasing through the barn.
Oh,
Cole
right. He's chasing her on foot.
He's got a pitchfork, and she's got an axe, and they're like, trying to fight each other. So I didn't understand this part. Dom runs outside and gets in the car. I don't know where he was exactly going.
I think he was trying to go get them because they were running away or something.
Well, they ran into the barn, and so he drives off. And as he comes around the barn, she comes out of
that plays a part in this. And like there's like the woman has this goat, and she's like, hey, look at my cute goat or whatever. So Dom's driving to go find them, and he's driving really fast, and then there's the goat's in the street, so he swerves to miss the goat as she's running out of the barn.
Francesca as he comes out of the barn. Kills
her so hard.
That's
her face hits some rock or something at like warp speed.
Yeah. So now they've murdered 3 people.
That's when they say like one of the funniest lines of the movie, because they're sitting there and he's like, oh, he goes, this has to be the last one. And then they're like, yeah, let's not make this a thing. And he goes, yeah, when we get to LA, I don't want this to be a thing. And then just kill people.
I don't know what she was shouting at him. I don't speak Italian, but then he says, she called me a fag like 5 times in that barn. And he's like, what? That is so rude. I don't know what she was saying, fagamo or fagami. I don't know what that means in Italian, but I'm sure it doesn't mean faggot.
No, it didn't.
So they decide the best thing to do is to get cleaned up, to take the bodies, and to burn them in the pizza oven and then leave and go back home. So as they're loading the son's body into the pizza oven, the old mother wakes up. She's not dead. And she sees them shoving her son in the pizza oven. She starts to yell. So Cole picks up the pizza tray thing, that thing you slide the pizza in the oven with, and cracks her in the head with it. Now she's dead. They stick all the bodies in the oven. They clean up the mess, and they leave. They don't even care about the husband who's in the iron lungs still. They leave him back in the back room.
Yeah, and then they get into a conversation about something. About trying to find something. So they're having a conversation. They're not watching the road. They're just talking to each other. And they end up running over the guy that gave them a ride to that place in the first place, while he's repairing his fence that they broke when they were driving there in the first place.
That's 4 people they murdered.
And 4. As they're driving away, what are they listening to? Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now by Starship. Hilarious.
So in the morning, the police show up because the wife of the man they ran down in the middle of the street called the cops and said, my husband is dead in the street. They go to the old lady's house. They find the bones in the oven. They find there's a spot of blood on one of the picture frames. They find all this evidence. They find the knife that says cool covered in blood in the dirt that they dropped when they were chasing after Francesca. And they bring the guy out in the iron lung.
The iron lung guy. They find him.
And they're like, what happened? And he starts going, queers.
He's trying
the queers did it.
The queers did it. And all he's
saying
so the police go,
are you calling us queer, you son of a bitch? And then the man in the iron lung dies.
Then they start getting mad.
They got mad because he was calling them queers.
Oh, it's hilarious.
So,
and then he just died. And he
Dies.
goes, that guy called us queers and died. And the other guy goes, yeah, that's about what happened.
So Cole and Dom, they get to the airport. They're all cleaned up. They make it onto their flight. They fly back to the U.S.
They get through security, and they're getting to the thing, to the airplane. And now all of a sudden, security is like, "Oh, they're getting to the gate. We have to hurry." And so security's running to the gate, and you think, "Oh, security's running to the gate to arrest them." And then as security's running up to, I just thought this was hilarious. As security's running up, they can see them coming at them, and Dom says to Cole, he said, "I'll take the fall, you take the baby." And Cole says, "Okay." And then they get up and they were like, "What do you think you're doing?" They're like, "You'll never get through customs without this." Dom had left his passport at security, and so they gave him that. Yes. So
they do this several times in the movie. They like make comments of something that's just absolutely stupid in the movie. Because there's like 6 of them, and he's like, "It takes 6 of you to give me my passport."
Yeah.
It's like, why did you need an entire army to bring me my passport? So they get on the plane, they get back to the U.S., they see the baby, they see Candace, all is right with the world. They're holding their son, and she's like, "Did you think of a name?" And he said, "We're going to name him Giovanni." So it turns out, we didn't mention this part, we find out that Giovanni that's the other son who died, that he was gay, and that the old lady always wished for her son to find a husband and start a family and just be happy with who he was. And that she particularly liked this couple because it reminded her of her son Giovanni, which is heartbreaking. And then you turn around and after you murder the whole family, you name the baby Giovanni?
They killed an entire family and then started a new one. It's a beautiful story.
Am I supposed to be rooting for these two? Because I stopped about halfway through the movie. As if this isn't bad enough. Did you watch the credit scene?
No, there's a credit scene?
Yes! So that's credits roll. And then there's a scene in the credits where the cops, because Dom's dad's friend booked the rental car, set up the restaurant, bought the knife, he gets arrested for the murders. And they're taking him away, and they're like, "This is an open shut case. You're going away forever." And they put him in a police car.
Like, I mean, yeah, okay. All he has to say is, they're the ones that did it. I gave them the car. I mean, I guess there's no surveillance in this tiny little town.
I don't know, but that's how the movie ended. Unless we get a sequel, I have to assume that he took the fall for it.
I demand a sequel. I want to know who they're going to kill next.
Anyway, by the end of this movie, I'm like, it is, because I was like, is this a horror movie? And then it turned out, yes, it is a horror movie. And they're the villains. They're the slashers. They murdered an Italian family and then took back off to the States. Tragic.
What do you think Rotten Tomatoes was?
I don't know. This seems like the quirky kind of movie that critics seem to like. I'm going to say critics gave it an 82 and audiences gave it, if it got queer bombed, I'm going to say 64.
You were high on both ends.
Really?
55 and 51.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Critics
I thought it was
this.
better than that. I thought
definitely better than that.
It was a delightfully hilarious, ridiculous show that made me laugh. I thought that everybody in it was great. I believed their relationship, and it was sweet at times, and it was hilarious. And the whole shtick of "I don't understand you," and like just running throughout the whole show about like all these people dying because they didn't understand. It was cracking me up.
I do not like Dom and Cole. They are terrible people and must be punished for their crimes. But I did like the movie.
They
I thought
remind
it
me
was
of like Mitch and Cam's friends on Modern Family if they had gone to Europe and
yeah.
accidentally killed somebody and then had to hide it, so they killed more people. What do you give it? 1 to 5.
I'll give it 3 grapes.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
a
gonna give it-
solid. It's a solid film. It's funny. It's weird. I feel like they shouldn't have gotten their happy ending. There should have been a comeuppance for them.
I'm surprised about that. Like, it's a weird ending. Like,
It is, yeah.
There was 0 consequences.
None
for them in all of
whatsoever. In
this.
fact, they get everything their heart desires. Plus, they murdered 4 people.
Right, and then they make another video to adopt another kid. So
yeah.
I feel like there may be a sequel coming.
I hope so, because I need them to pay for what they did.
I want you to know, if there's a sequel, they will not pay.
They won't. I loved that Italian woman so much.
She was so
just
sweet.
I love her. I want to eat her pizza and I want to marry her dead son.
All right.
But so we got that movie out of the way. I don't think we have lined up what we're going to watch next week, but we'll work it out.
We have not. I know. One of these days we're going to end up doing this weird shorts thing. I don't know if that'll be next time or the one after, but we'll see.
We did watch. What was it? I got to look it up. I can't remember what it's called.
But Objection. I'm not gay.
Yeah. I was trying to. The app is what I was saying. It's those little. You see them on TikTok and Instagram. They're like the little minute shorts. Good shorts.
Yeah.
The entire film is 72 or 74 episodes, but the episodes are less than a minute each. So, it's an interesting concept. I did find this interesting because the 2 gay ones on the Good Shorts has this really cute actor in it who I looked up. And apparently, according to TikTok, it's one of the most popular vertical actors. That's what they call the actors in those little TikTok shorts. Vertical actor.
Well, good for him.
He's super hot, though.
He'll win a vertical Oscar.
But yeah, so that's all we've got. You have anything else you want to add?
No, that's it.
Oh, well then.
Welcome back. I hope you had fun doing it again.
Thank you.
I think it worked out.
Yeah, I enjoyed it immensely. Oh, and we're at an hour 30. Look at that. We even came in well under 2 hours. But we'll be back next week. And until then, the cork is back in the bottle.